theme of our meeting is St. Patrick's Day. And thanks to St. Patrick, there's a lot of Catholic people in Ireland and a lot of priests in Ireland. But I'm not here to proselytize. But I would like to call up a priest who's not a priest. That's Paul Priest. And he's giving speech number 6, which is a big deal because that means that he qualifies to compete at the next level, at the club level and at the area level. He's giving 6 speeches, and I've only heard maybe one of his or 2 of his speeches. He's coming along, so I'm eagerly awaiting speech number 6. So come on up, Paul, to give us speech number 6. The title is Body Language. From the boardroom to the ball to the bar room. Body language from the boardroom to the bar room. I've had a little too much to drink. So, come on up, Paul.
My name is Paul, and I am Chun, which, depending on how much you trust Google Translate, means shy or introvert in Gaelic. And because of this, I have become fascinated with how body language is used to communicate. And so I've done a little research about it. So last Friday night, I was going uptown with some friends to go dancing at Prohibition, which is a dance club. So I was in there, and I was kind of getting my groove on, and I noticed this group of a couple dozen guys and girls dressed to the nines. So I asked around a little bit and found out it was a bridal party celebrating the wedding the following day of Ben and his betrothed, Ollie. Now, of course, being the consummate gentleman that I am, I quickly whisked away a couple bridesmaids to dance. And after dancing with them for a few minutes, Ollie, the bride, came over to dance as well. So we were dancing face to face for a little bit. And then she turns around to grind, and she starts to back it up. And Ben, the groom, was standing about 10 feet away from me. And I was in a pickle. Because of the bride's body language, I almost was beaten up by a bear of a burly best man. Body language can be dangerous, but it is also incredibly important. Here in Toastmasters, we obviously are very critical about our body language. We think about it in detail when we're doing speeches, but even more than just when we're giving speeches, body language is very important in the rest of our lives. I'm going to challenge us to think tonight about 3 areas in which we use body language. In business, in our friendships, and how it affects us emotionally. Imagine with me that you are interviewing 3 new candidates for a job. The first candidate comes on in, and he goes to give you a handshake, and he gives you the old Arnold Schwarzenegger. I will crush you! And it feels like he's trying to break your hand. What do we think about it? We think he's a jerk. Now the second candidate comes in, and he gives you a handshake, and he gives you his hand, and his hand kind of feels like a roll of toilet paper that accidentally dropped in the toilet. It's cold, it's soft, it's a little squishy. What do we think about this applicant? We probably think he's not very confident, perhaps even unqualified. Now our third applicant comes in, and he gives a nice, firm handshake and a big smile, and we're going to hire that guy. So in business, our body language is very important. Imagine with me that I'm an old friend that you haven't seen in 20 years. How are you going to greet me? With a big hug, of course. You're not just going to say hi, hello, you're going to grab me in a big hug. When we're with our friends, when we're with people we feel comfortable with, we use a lot of body language. If someone makes a joke about us, we might punch them on the arm for making fun of us. Or perhaps we might comfortingly pat a friend on the shoulder if they tell us about their terrible blind date with Mike, the balloon animal artiste. With our friends, our body language is incredibly important as well. Now, I'm going to show you 2 different poses, and I want you to think about how they appear to you. Here I am. My head is down. My arms and legs are close together. And I look as if I could be in a hospital, waiting for a family member to get out of surgery.
Or hangover.
Now contrast that with this. My arms and legs are open. Perhaps you can hear the football game in the background. Shh, I've got a beer. I'm open, I'm relaxed. Amy Cuddy, a professor at Harvard, has done research on what she calls power poses. Poses where our bodies are open, our arms and limbs are away from our body, but we are more relaxed. And what she found was that after only 2 minutes in such a pose, participants in the study had higher levels of testosterone and lower levels of cortisol, the hormone most closely attributed to stress. Our body language affects our emotions. In summary, I would like to challenge all of us to think this next week about our body language, just for a few minutes. The next time you meet a new business colleague, go up and give them a firm handshake and a smile. The next time you run into that person who's kind of on the border between a friend and an acquaintance, greet them a little more warmly. The next time you're sitting, ready to get up and give a speech, try a little bit more open pose, and maybe you'll be a little bit more relaxed. By being a little more intentional about our body language, we're going to be happier, and we also might just avoid getting beaten up. Mr. Toastmaster.